Hey guys, Vlad here. Today is Tuesday. We are in downtown Toronto. This is a famous pier, part of the Echo Beach, and this is where they hold usually the Digital Dreams Festival. Again, as we all know, unfortunately, no festivals or any events, I guess, for the remainder of this year, unless you come to protest. So I guess all the events should just rebrand as a protest and be able to have music festivals and food festivals, just have it as a protest environment with some signs and stuff like that. So yeah, a few things just to update. Again, I share everything on my profile. One thing is the CTV News actually shared there's a satellite images from Wuhan that may suggest that the coronavirus was spreading as early as August. Initially, again, World Health Organization said that the spread only took place from January, and that's why they advised the countries to shut down in March. But there's a lot of evidence showing that the virus was spreading as early as October. Now, I guess maybe even as early as August. So again, all the measures to prevent the spread 6 months after the virus already was spreading around the world was completely unnecessary and irresponsible. But not many people want to talk about it, unfortunately, especially the governments. The other thing is what was going on today. Unfortunately, I shared in New Brunswick, they're actually trying to pass a legislation to set up a precedent for the first province to mandate mandatory vaccination. And again, this is just a framework that they establish, and later they can use for many different reasons, right? The other thing that I shared was Edmonton Sun shared that Dr. Tam talks about unfortunate increase in alcohol use, junk food during the epidemic. And I was talking about this 3 months ago, and people was telling me like, what are you talking about? You're not an expert. But I was talking about food chain issues that's going to happen 3 months ago. I was talking about definitely increase in obesity and healthy issues derived from lifestyle-related diseases like diabetes, cancer, and stroke, because people definitely going to be less active. People definitely going to consume a lot of fast food and junk food and all that stuff. And obviously 3 months later, Dr. Tam, the expert, now is talking about that. But it was obvious to a lot of people back then. The other thing that BlockTO finally published something to encourage the positive things that we've been talking about from the beginning, that this virus is not as deadly, not as contagious as we were led to believe. So Toronto BlockTO discussed that it's been over 2 weeks now since the famous or infamous Trinity Bellwood Park incident where we had thousands of people just coming together having a good time. And guess what? 2 weeks later, we didn't have any spike. In fact, we have one of the lowest amount of new cases coming out. The infection rate is well below 1.5%. So, and this is obviously as well, we had 7 weeks with hundreds and hundreds of people coming together on side of these events. And again, there's no spikes in any of the outbreaks in the hospitals. So it just goes to show that what we've been saying for 3 months ago, where we actually studied and did the research, was the truth. And we will label conspiracy theories, etc. But we were right, and that's really the main thing to understand. The other thing I shared, I think was yesterday, there's actually a lawsuit going on in Quebec over the COVID measures. I know Rocco Galati is suing Canadian government on behalf of Vaccines Choice Canada, but I believe it's more on the federal level. So we definitely have to figure out a lawsuit at the Ontario level. So if any of you guys have connections to constitutional lawyers or litigation lawyers that actually would like to take a case, we have a lot of people that definitely would like to be a part of the class action lawsuit against Ontario government specifically, and maybe even the city municipal government too. So let me know, message me if you have somebody that can collaborate with us in that regard. What else I can tell you? The main event for this week for us is definitely Saturday. Our celebration of life will be 8th week that will be coming together. There's no Parliament legislation sittings in Ontario this week. I believe it's definitely going to be happening next week, so we're going to be back at the Parliament next week too. And what else? Yeah, those are just some of the updates. I shared the live protest in front of the New Brunswick Parliament, I believe. So it's on my page too. You can see people sharing a lot of information about what took place in New Brunswick today. And Yeah, so let me know, guys, if you have any questions. Stay healthy, stay blessed. Love you all.